Our planet, this beautiful and intricate world we call home, is getting warmer. For a very long time, Earth's climate has been stable, allowing life in all its wonderful forms to flourish. We have built our cities, grown our food, and planned our lives based on this stability. But now, that balance is changing. The activities of humankind, especially the burning of fossil fuels like coal and oil, have released vast amounts of gases into the atmosphere. These gases act like a blanket, trapping the sun's heat and causing the planet's temperature to rise steadily. This is not a distant problem for the future. It is happening right now, today, on this very date, July 7th, 2025. This warming matters deeply because every part of our world is connected. A small change in temperature can have huge effects, like a single stone causing ripples across an entire pond. Think about the ice at the poles, which acts like a giant mirror, reflecting sunlight back into space and keeping our planet cool. As the world warms, this ice is melting faster than ever before. This means less sunlight is reflected, and more heat is absorbed by the dark ocean water underneath. This creates a cycle, a feedback loop, where warming causes more melting, which in turn causes even more warming. It is a fragile system, and we are pushing it towards a tipping point. The signs of this change are all around us if we know where to look. We are seeing more extreme weather events than ever before. The 5 warmest summers in Europe since the year 1500 have all happened in the last 2 decades. Heat waves that were once rare are becoming common occurrences. At the same time, massive storms are getting stronger, and wildfires are burning with greater intensity and for longer periods. These are not just news headlines. They are direct consequences of a planet that is struggling to cope with the heat we have added to its system. It is a clear warning that the world we have always known is transforming before our very eyes. Understanding this warming is the first step toward addressing it. It is not about a single hot summer day, but about a long-term trend that threatens the very foundations of our civilization. The delicate web of life, from the smallest insect to the largest whale, depends on the climate conditions that have existed for thousands of years. As we continue to alter this climate, we risk unraveling this web with consequences that will affect every single person on Earth. The question we must now face is not whether the planet is warming, but what this warming will mean for our ability to live on it. As global temperatures continue to climb, one of the most direct threats we face is extreme heat. Our bodies are designed to operate within a very specific temperature range. When it gets too hot, our bodies work hard to cool down, primarily through sweating. However, there is a limit to this ability. Scientists talk about a wet bulb temperature, which combines heat and humidity. Once this measurement reaches a certain point, around 35 degrees Celsius, the human body can no longer cool itself. At this stage, even a healthy person resting in the shade can suffer from fatal heat stroke. It is a terrifying threshold that some parts of the world are already approaching during heat waves. This is not a far-off scenario. Since 1980, our planet has seen a 50-fold increase in the number of places experiencing this kind of dangerous heat. Cities like Karachi in Pakistan and Kolkata in India are already at risk of becoming nearly uninhabitable, facing deadly heat waves on an annual basis if we reach just 2 degrees of warming. People who work outdoors, such as farmers and construction workers, are especially vulnerable. Their livelihoods depend on being able to work outside, but rising temperatures could make that impossible during the hottest months. Imagine a world where entire regions must shut down for summer, not for a holiday, but for survival. The impacts extend far beyond human health. Extreme heat puts immense strain on our infrastructure. It can cause power grids to fail, as everyone turns on their air conditioning at once, leading to blackouts when people need cooling the most. Roads can buckle, and railway lines can bend under the intense temperatures, disrupting transport and supply chains. Even the air we breathe is affected. Higher temperatures can worsen air pollution by trapping smog and increasing ground-level ozone, a gas that can damage our lungs. The very systems we rely on for modern life are being tested by a climate they were not built for. The historical context is alarming. The devastating European heatwave of 2003, which was responsible for tens of thousands of deaths, was considered a once-in-a-generation event. Yet, with 4 degrees of warming, a scenario possible by the end of this century, that level of heat could become a normal summer. This changes everything about how we live, where we can live, and what kind of future we can expect. The simple act of being outside on a summer day could become a life-threatening risk for millions of people around the globe, fundamentally altering our relationship with the world around us. A hotter world is also a world with less security when it comes to the essentials of life, food and water. The crops that feed humanity are sensitive to temperature. For every single degree of warming, scientists estimate that yields of staple grains like corn, wheat and rice can fall by about 10%. This is a staggering figure when you consider our growing global population. We may soon face a scenario where there are more people to feed but significantly less food available. Regions that are currently the breadbaskets of the world, like the American Midwest or Southern Europe, are projected to face permanent states of extreme drought by 2080 if emissions are not drastically reduced. Water scarcity is another critical consequence. As temperatures rise, evaporation increases, and rainfall patterns change. This means some areas will get much less rain than they used to, leading to prolonged and severe droughts. Rivers could shrink, reservoirs could dry up, and underground water sources could be depleted. This not only affects our drinking water, but also the water needed for agriculture and industry. A 2015 NASA study warned that droughts in the American plains and Southwest could become worse than any seen in the last 1,000 years. Competition over dwindling water resources could become a major source of tension and conflict between communities and even nations. The health of our population is also at great risk. Beyond the immediate danger of heat stroke, a warmer climate is a breeding ground for disease. Insects like mosquitoes, which carry illnesses such as malaria, dengue fever, and Zika, thrive in warmer and wetter conditions. As temperatures rise, their geographic range expands, introducing these diseases to populations that have no immunity. For every degree of temperature increase, the malaria parasite can reproduce 10 times faster. Furthermore, ancient microbes that have been frozen in Arctic permafrost for millennia are now being released as the ice thaws, posing an unknown but potentially serious risk of new and old diseases re-emerging. These cascading effects on food, water, and health create a cycle of hardship that is difficult to escape. Malnutrition can weaken the immune system, making people more susceptible to diseases. A lack of clean water can lead to outbreaks of cholera and other waterborne illnesses. The economic impact is also immense. Research suggests that for every 1 degree of warming, there is an average loss of 1.2% of a country's GDP. This means the countries that are often most vulnerable to climate change will also have the fewest resources to adapt, creating a world of deepening inequality and instability. Faced with such a monumental challenge, it can be easy to feel overwhelmed or even hopeless. The picture painted by science is indeed a stark one, showing a future where parts of our planet may become uninhabitable. However, the future is not yet written. The same human ingenuity that created this problem also holds the key to its solution. We have the knowledge, the technology, and the capacity to change our course. The crucial ingredient we need now is the collective will to act. This is not a burden for one person or one country to bear alone. It is a shared responsibility for all of humanity. The first and most important step is to drastically reduce the amount of greenhouse gases we are pumping into the atmosphere. This means transitioning away from fossil fuels and embracing clean, renewable energy sources like solar and wind power. Governments can lead the way by setting ambitious targets for emissions reductions and creating policies that make clean energy affordable and accessible. Corporations have a vital role to play by transforming their business models to be sustainable and environmentally responsible. It requires a fundamental shift in how we power our societies, moving from an extractive economy to a regenerative one. As individuals, our choices matter. The way we live, the products we buy, the food we eat, and the way we travel all have an impact. By making more conscious decisions, we can contribute to the solution. This could mean reducing our energy consumption at home, choosing to walk, cycling, or using public transport, or supporting businesses that are committed to sustainability. It also means using our voices to call for change. By talking to our friends and family, engaging with our communities, and demanding action from our elected leaders, we can help build the momentum needed for a global transformation. This is our moment of truth. Our planet is sending us a clear message, and we must listen. Caring for our world is not a political issue. It is a moral imperative for the survival of our species and the countless others with whom we share this home. We must protect the forests that breathe life into our atmosphere, the oceans that regulate our climate, and the biodiversity that makes our planet so resilient. By working together, with urgency, determination, and hope, we can still steer toward a safer, more stable future. We have a chance to not only avert a catastrophe, but to build a better, cleaner, and more equitable world for the generations to come.